Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to take you with me as I do some cleaning in my kitchen and tackle a project that I have been wanting to get done for a long time now. So the first thing that we're getting to is cleaning my kitchen windows. These can get so dirty, especially the one right by the sink because it's right where I wash dishes. And I always have water splashing up, and then I always forget how clean it looks after I'm done washing it. Having clean windows always makes such a big difference in how a room looks. It just makes everything look a lot brighter and a lot more clean. So every once in a while, I like to take the time to just clean my windows and just add a little bit of sparkle and shine to my kitchen. If you missed my last video, I shared how we put trim up by the doors and the windows, and that also has made a big difference in how my kitchen looks. We still need to stain the raw edges of the trim to make it match the color of the trim. We used weathered pine for our trim, and so we're just going to leave that the color it is. I have to clean it, of course, but I have found that if you scrub the boards, you kind of scrub the weathered part of it off and it doesn't look as rustic anymore. So what I have to do is just take a brush and kind of brush everything off instead of cleaning it with a rag. And then eventually I want to stain the raw edges so that they match the rest of the boards. When we moved in here, I only had bottom cabinets, and that was really something to get used to because in my old kitchen, I had a lot of cabinet space. So I had to maneuver things around and really get good at organizing to find a place to put all of my kitchen things. It also does help that we live off-grid, so I can't have all of my electric appliances out, and without those cluttering my countertop and taking up space in my cabinets, I actually have a lot of room to put my other things. And since I do have a small kitchen, I really had to kind of become a minimalist with all of the kitchen things that I have. And I noticed that even though I have a lot less things in my kitchen than I used to have, I actually don't miss all of my kitchen gadgets and all the little things that I thought I had to have to make cooking easier or things that would take less time to do a project, like maybe having a little handheld chopper to chop my onions and my vegetables instead of getting out my cutting board and using my cutting board and my knife. So instead of having all of those little extras, I just have the bare necessities in my kitchen, and it actually works out a lot better. And I find that I don't even miss the things that I used to use every day in my old kitchen. I do still have a lot of things in storage, and every once in a while when I have to go look for something, maybe for some containers to take someone a meal, I find some things that I completely forgot that I had, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot about this. But now that I've been in my kitchen for almost a little over a year now, without all of those extras, I find that I really don't need them, and I can function really well in my kitchen without them. We did put top cabinets in, and that did make it really nice to be able to put my plates and glasses and things like that over here by the sink so that we can just grab something from there if we need it. And then that freed up some space in my pantry shelves so that I can now store my flour and sugar and baking supplies a lot easier. As I mentioned, we've been living here in our off-grid home for a little over a year now, and even though I wanted to paint these cabinets as soon as we got them, there was just so many other things that needed attention first, and so this just kind of got pushed back until the other things got taken care of. And now that a lot of those other things have been taken care of, I can start to focus on the smaller projects that are not quite as important. I decided to use white for my cabinets because if the sun is not out, it can get really dark in my kitchen because we have a porch right off of the kitchen. And then we also have a big tree line on either side of our house, so the sun doesn't really shine in the windows when it's coming up or going down. And so that makes everything seem a lot darker, especially if it's in the winter and the sun doesn't shine as much. So this is how my cabinets looked after one coat of paint. I thought that I could only do one coat and it would be good, but then I realized that I would probably have to do 2 coats, and then I realized after 2 coats that I was going to have to do a 3rd coat. So this project ended up taking a lot longer than I thought it would, but in the end it was totally worth it. So instead of throwing away my brushes and my roller, I just put them into some plastic bags and wrapped them up really tight, and then I set them aside and used them again the next day when I painted. On this day, Gideon took both of the kids with him. They went out to get some peaches and some blueberries so that I could do some more canning. And while they were gone, I was able to give the cabinets another coat of paint. And then when they got back, Gideon drilled the holes for the knobs, and we were able to put those on later that night as well.